Ah, all right. Let's see. Okay. Hi, it's Jaclyn with Systems for Self-Care. We start Self-Care Session School tomorrow, Monday, February 22nd. So here's, let me see. There we go. Hopefully this is working. If you have not printed your sheet, you're going to go to systemsforselfcare.com/school. You're going to get the 7-minute self-care session worksheet. It's super easy. In the PDF, I explain how to do it, but I'll also be on live tomorrow every day at 8 a.m. Central to guide you through it. I know for a lot of people, having that accountability, someone to meet with, someone that's gonna like make sure that they're there, is really helpful. So I'll always be here at 8 a.m. Central. If you can't make 8 a.m. Central because you're in a different time zone or your work schedule is different, just set that time for yourself when you're going to show up for yourself. So why are we doing self-care session school? What are you going to be able to do? What are you going to be able to be at the end of self-care session school? So the point of it is to do something for yourself before you open yourself up to the world and do anything for anyone else. My clients who've been really, really successful in changing their life and getting that thing that they want, they start their day with doing something for themselves. Why do we do this? Because you get into the habit of consistently showing up. You're like actually telling yourself like, hey, I said this thing that I want in my life is important. I'm actually going to dedicate time to working on it right here in the morning before I do anything for anyone else, before I go on my phone, before I go on Instagram, before I open my work email. I'm going to do something for myself. I'm going to get into the habit of showing up consistently. You're going to be able to experience the benefits of starting the day with guided mindset prompts. So this is really important. My clients who have been really successful are the ones that actually take the time to journal in the morning. And they're guided. It's guided. It's on here. I tell you what to write. It's not just like, dear diary, this happened today. It's like, no, there's a purpose to this. I am guiding you towards the behaviors and the actions and the habits that you want. That if you say this is the goal that you want, here are the behaviors and actions that you need to have in place to achieve that goal and be that person. And it is about being that person. So when I talk about aspirational identity, it's about like, cool, this is the person that I want to be. Here's the evidence that I'm being that person. So it's not just this, it's not just focusing on an end result or an outcome, but it's really focusing on being that person who embodies that outcome that you want. This ensures that you're actually working on the thing that you want day to day. You're allowing yourself to actually be that person. So many people wait until they achieve their goal to allow themselves to be happy. But what happens is they never achieve their goal, or they achieve their goal and they don't even believe it. Oh my gosh, this isn't really me. They didn't take the time to try on those beliefs along the way. So that's really what we're doing. We're getting you to do the thing, do the thing consistently, show up and be the person, and like change the way that you talk about yourself so you actually believe that you're growing into being this person. Again, the goal is consistency. So like, how many days do you have to do this? Every day. You need to show up for yourself and work on that thing that you want every day. If you miss the day, this isn't the time to be like, oh my gosh, I guess this isn't for me. I can't do anything right. It's like, no, just show up the next day. This is not a perfection challenge. This is a consistency challenge. There's no punitive, there's no punishment for not showing up, for missing a day, for sleeping in late. It's like, oh, that doesn't feel so good. I said, that's the punishment. Oh man, I said I wanted this thing. I made a mistake. Okay, great. This guilt that I'm feeling, guilt has a purpose. It helps us guide the actions that we take. So it's like, use that guilt to guide the actions that you're going to take the next day, instead of like, oh my gosh, I'm a terrible person, letting the guilt turn into shame. Shame will not help you change where you're going, but guilt actually can help you. So my suggestions are to make sure you set an alarm, set reminders that you are going to be working on this in the morning. It's just 7 minutes. There are 1,440 minutes in a day, so 7 minutes is a very, very tiny percentage of that, probably less than 1% of your day, probably less than 0.5% of that day. So 7 minutes. I'm going to keep the sessions moving quickly, but then there will also be a teaching point at the end of the 7 minutes. I'll talk for a little bit, teach something, and there'll be some sort of response question or check-in to make sure that you're showing up and you're doing the thing. You can participate via Facebook. I will be in here and responding to comments, but I know a lot of people are participating via email, which is totally fine. I love email as well. Less distractions on email. Cool. So we start Monday and it'll go through Friday, but your worksheet does have through Saturday and Sunday as well, because I mean, if you're working on being a new person, you also have to show up and be that person on Saturday and Sundays. And I was thinking about something one of my clients said. She's talking about building an interior design business, and every time she works on it, basically she's like laying a brick to build this building. And if we think about that, like every time you show up and you do the thing, you are laying a brick and you are building this beautiful building. You're building this, this new life that you want for yourself. So it is important to consistently show up and do the thing and be the person. Again, I will be in here tomorrow. Have an amazing Sunday night. Take care. Bye, everyone.